changing it a little bit, tinkering it here and there, see if we can get more people on board. But what would it take, from what you know of the original proposals, £5 a day to travel in and around the zone in Cambridge, what would it take for you to get behind it? Because obviously you want to breathe in cleaner air, you don't want to be stuck in traffic unnecessarily, and you'd want better public transport. I would say that's a universal. Everybody wants that, don't they? So what would it take? Your thoughts welcome. 08000 85 95 96 is the free phone number. Or you can also WhatsApp. Start your message cam 08000 321 333. Let's have a chat with Will Bannell, who's from the Cambridgeshire Residents Group. Will, good morning to you.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Just describe who you are for the listeners who haven't heard of the Cambridgeshire Residents Group.
I'm a member of this group called the Cambridge Residents Group, CRG. We've all come together, in response to this thing. Just a group of volunteers, local business owners, family people, that sort of thing. Very, very concerned about the congestion charge. Done a lot of reading and research, checking the council documents and things like that. What do you want to know?
Okay, well, tell the listener, please, if you would, Will, where the Cambridgeshire Residents Group, where you stand on the original proposals, and what issues you have.
The original proposals were just terrible proposals. Everybody agrees with that. That's the reason why we all came together and protested against it. The damage it would do to this town is immense. And that's clear. And since then, this has been going on for about 6 or 8 months by now. So much has been learned about, why this is happening, what they want to do to Cambridge. The congestion charge is only one small part of a much, much bigger scheme. So we're just trying to do everything we can to stop it, really.
Okay, so what do you think is going on here then? What is this bigger scheme of which you speak?
Well, there's an awful lot of development going on in Cambridge at the moment. And the local transport sort of plan is part of the how to get the sort of planning permission for the future of development in the city, if you see what I mean. So they don't promote or advertise everything that they're doing. It comes bit by bit.
So you don't think this is to do with congestion at all? You think this is facilitating future development?
No, that is what it is about. That's been made known, and it's explicitly clear in the GCP consultation documents that it's a revenue-raising scheme to fund this huge bus network. And it's like...
Well, how does that facilitate development?
Well, it's a bit complicated, but there's this thing called the local plan, the local transport plan or something like that. I've forgotten what it's called, but... what is it called? The CA, the Combined Authority, the GCP, these were set up to facilitate all of this funding which is coming in.
Yeah, but if I was to get the Greater Cambridge Partnership on the phone now, they'd say we're doing this to ease congestion in the city, because, and you know what it's like, it's a nightmare in Cambridge. We're doing it to improve the air quality, and we're doing it to improve public transport, so people who don't have a car, the less well off in Cambridge, of which there are many, sadly, they can get on a bus more readily. That's what they'd say. They wouldn't say it's about development at all.
Well, this is why nobody believes a word they say, because, the congestion isn't as bad as they make it out. Most of it's been sort of manufactured or made worse by the way that they manage the roads. And the air quality issue was debunked ages ago, Cambridge has got very clean air already. And the point is that they want to build... 44,000 extra homes or something like that. This is all part of the same development sort of package. The Cambridge is connected to this south of England larger regional aspiration where they want to turn it into like a huge life sciences area, and all of that stuff is requires all of this development. And for development to happen, they need to have a transport infrastructure plan signed off on. Otherwise, they can't get the planning permission for the future.
Well, I'm not sure I agree with you on the air quality. If you just walk by the side of the road when all the cars there are idling, it's not fantastic.
When you're walking there next to a car, you can smell the exhaust sometimes. But the actual air quality issue, it's been debunked. There's this thing called the INRIX. INRIX. It's a ranking of all the cities with the how clean their air is. Cambridge is very good on that. And so basically the proposal as put forward back in, last year, a lot of the reasoning for it wasn't real, wasn't genuine. This is why people started to, think that there was something wrong with it.
Are you saying that it's fine, the situation in Cambridge then, as you see it, with people driving in and out and commuting is fine? Does nothing need to happen?
Well, no, I think that something should be done. There's alternatives. This is the point. I mean, I didn't really know what was going to happen on this radio show today. I thought maybe we would have some sort of debate or something. But basically, what's happening now at the moment is that they've got these three alternative scenarios, right? And
yes, where we're talking about changing maybe to just charging during peak times or offering free days to residents. Yeah.
Those three alternatives are all really bad as well. They're like mangled botch jobs to try to rescue an already very ill-considered scheme. And I just want to read you something out of the agenda pack that they published last week. Section 9.8 specifically says, doing nothing remains an option in terms of road user charging, given the public concern expressed about the STZ element of the Making Connections proposals, right? And they could go back and revisit other alternative funding models. That could happen. And actually, if you take a step back, that is definitely the best option right now moving forward.
So you think scrap the whole thing?
Yes, exactly. And I'm not just coming in here as a naysayer. I've actually written a short report called An Alternative Funding Model for Transport, and I'm going to show it or present it to the GCP on Thursday.
And can you give us a bit of an idea what that will include? Because if you don't like this option, can you tell us what your option is, your alternative?
I mean, I need more airtime to go into all the details of it, but I've spread out the costs over about 6 different funding revenue mechanisms, which would be spread across different sectors of the economy, and it would make it less burdensome, and it would be affordable for everyone who contributes. And there's something really important which nobody talks about at the moment. Yeah, excuse me a minute. The GCP has got on its board representatives from Cambridge Ahead, right? Cambridge Ahead is a consortium of very wealthy companies. There's about 50 companies in their membership. They are developers, science companies, tech companies, consultancy companies, these kind of things. And I spent a day last week. I went through each of their publicly available statement of accounts from Companies House, right? So I could just get a little glimpse about how much these companies actually have. And it turns out, and this is true, you can check me, I'm happy to have these numbers checked and verified, the Cambridge Ahead, between them, have a collective profit of £37 billion in 1 year. That is true.
So,
right?
so you thinking there's enough business in? Is this what I'm trying to work out what you're trying to say? There's enough business making a lot of money in Cambridge. Charge them rather than charge the punter on the street. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, that's exactly right. And like I said, that would be spread. That would be mixed in with 7. I've written 6 ideas for alternative funding models, which would all work as well. By the way, like I said, I want you to read this report. Cambridge can read the report. Think about this alternative, and basically, Cambridge Ahead should have to pay to sit on the GCP board. And even if you just charge them like half of the amount of money that you want to make, for example, charge Cambridge Ahead £25 million per annum to sit on the board of the GCP, and that would equate to roughly 0.01% of 1 year's profit for them, so they wouldn't even feel it.
Okay, or rather the companies involved who are under the banner of that organisation. Okay, Will, thank you. We have to leave it there.
Suggestion. I'm just putting it out there, but I mean nobody's talked about that yet.
So you'd think we shouldn't even be talking about tinkering the original proposals. We should throw them out the window.
Look at all the anger and all the fear and all the upset that this has caused the people of Cambridge. Yeah, that could all be spared, and we have existing frameworks, revenue-raising potential, which could be done. And the fact is that Cambridge Ahead. And the Cambridge University, by the way, as well, they don't seem to want to pay their fair share. They want to make everybody else pay it. And so what does it look like when you have a group of 50 companies who, between them, make £37 billion in a year? They want to force everybody to pay every day for the rest of time.
Okay. Will, thank you very much indeed. That's Will Bannell. I don't think Cambridge Ahead are saying that. It's the Greater Cambridge Partnership who are behind this. But I think what will is, and we don't have Cambridge Ahead to defend themselves, nor Cambridge University to speak to us. I mean, we can do it at a later point if they deem it necessary. But this is the Greater Cambridge Partnership who are behind this scheme. But what